I'm here. It's another Tuesday night. I am here. I am live. I am surviving. And I'm gonna wait for a few more people to get on. Hi, Angie. Thank you for joining. It's funny, I look at myself. I thought about putting on makeup today, and yeah, my hands said no. You're not gonna do any of that. So here I am. Because I really did. I did think about it. Some days are just not, yeah. I'm doing too much. I've learned not to do too much. I think that's the key. I've learned not to do too much. Thank you. It's funny how much we don't listen to our bodies, and I've learned to give myself permission to feel, and that's new for me. Yeah, it's new to give myself permission, because it's so much easier just to go through the motions of life, and it's very different when you actually give yourself permission to feel. And I question how many of us Black women have learned that concept of giving ourselves permission to just feel whatever it is that we're feeling. I think so many of us are taught to just go through things, get to the other side of it, because when you get to the other side of it, you're fine. But we're not taught the steps and the things that you need to do. And I think for the first time in my life, I'm actually giving myself permission to feel whatever I'm feeling. So today, which was interesting, like I took a pillow and I screamed into a pillow. Like I was on a meeting, and I'm listening to everybody on this meeting, and I'm just thinking, like, this is a lot of information, and right now I got to consume it because it's for my job, and I got to do what I got to do. And then I finished that meeting. I walked into my room. I grabbed a pillow, I put it over my face, and I just screamed. I've never done that. But that's what my body said that I needed to do. That was some sort of release. And we release in different ways. So that was interesting for me. My body is going through things it's never experienced. And it's because I think my heart is experiencing things that it's never experienced either. Which is interesting. So anywho, yeah. The next few weeks, probably months, I don't know. I'm just gonna be revealing things as they're happening to me, because I'm hoping that this will help a lot of us as we go through breakups, because I think a lot of us have an unhealthy relationship with breaking up with someone. And it's we get all these narratives now about, there's the what do they call it, like the breakup body, and you get into the gym and he's gonna regret or she's gonna regret, and all of those things. And I just think it's like such an unhealthy approach, because why would you become your best self after somebody else has left you or you've left them? That just seems nonsensical to me. And I think that's very, very unhealthy. Or we get into this spiral, and we don't get to the other side the way we should, because we are not acknowledging the stuff that we're going through. And boundaries, right? I think that you have to set boundaries, because a breakup is mourning, it's grief. Like, why do we act as if, or at least why are we being told things like, in order to get over one man, you get under another? Whoever said that, that's the worst advice ever. I've never heard. I was talking to my sister about this, and she was like, I don't get that advice. because that makes absolutely no sense. And if you have friends that tell you to do that, tell them to stop it, because it is not great advice. You do not get under another man after a breakup. That is the worst thing you could do, because what you're gonna attach yourself emotionally to someone else. Like that never made sense to me. So after I have detached from somebody else who I've spent time with, I should attach to somebody else who doesn't actually have intentions for me. I've always found that getting under another man advice weird. I've always found that, people break up and then they get into the gym after a breakup. I've always found that weird, because I was like, so you were just giving your partner the worst of you? Because why all of a sudden are you now motivated to become better now that you're not with them? Like that's interesting. I'm not, no judgment, but I've always found that interesting. I've always found that like a weird concept. Because for me, it's like, I can tell you, for me, I'm mourning, right? Like I feel like they say that there's the stages of grief, which I'm actually going to look up. I don't know all of the stages of grief, because I think that's an interesting one. I'm going to actually go through that. Okay, so no, this is a lot of stages. I thought there were like 7 stages of grief. This thing just gave me like 32. Let me see what they say. Okay, 5 or 7 stages of grief. Let's just assume that there are 5 stages of grief, because no, apparently there are 7 stages of grief. That other one gave me like 32 stages. Ain't nobody doing that. So here are the 7 stages of grief. We've got shock and denial. You've got pain and guilt. You've got anger and bargaining. You have number 4, they're saying, is depression. Number 5 is the upward turn. Number 6 is reconstruction and working through. And then number 7 is acceptance and hope. And so to me, those things make sense, to go through all of that. And what's interesting for me is, of course, I'm grieving the breakup, and I'm still grieving the loss of my father, who passed away less than a year ago. And so it's compounding grief. And so for me, it's just like, I'm in a stage where I really have to say to myself, setting boundaries is important, and very clear boundaries, even boundaries around your friends and who you share things with, and what you allow them to say. And even I've been learning, maybe I share too much, right? Because certain comments will be made and I was like, kind of unnecessary. And clearly I told you too much, girl, because that was nowhere on the scale of what I'm feeling. But I think what I'm learning right now is there's gotta be boundaries around your energy whenever you're in a situation like this. And again, we can go through stages of grief for other things. Losing a job, you go through stages of grief, right? Losing a loved one, different changes in your life, right? You're grieving what was, and you have to deal with what is, and then you've got to get to what will be. Look at me, I broke that down, right? So to me, I am saying to myself, okay, what boundaries am I going to have to create so I can get to what will be, and I can deal with what is? And I know dating is one of them. Like I'm for me, I'd have to set boundaries around the fact that when I'm not ready to date, and when I am, what that will look like, what that will feel like. I have to set boundaries around what I even say to people in my life about what I'm going through. I have to set boundaries around how much energy I can give to things and to people. So people laugh at me now because I say things like, I don't feel like peopling today, right? And what that means for me is I just don't feel like going outside and dealing with people. I don't try to make commitments to things if I don't have to, because I may wake up that day and I just don't feel like doing it. I don't want to feel like I'm obligated to somebody else while I'm going through grief. And it's so interesting to me that people don't understand break up as a grief the way they do clearly when your parent died. And to be honest, some people still feel like even after a family member dies, you're supposed to be just up and over it, like whatever, not me. But it's funny how nobody sees a breakup the same way. It's just gonna be like, you'll be fine, girl. You'll be okay. And it's just like, somebody talked to me the other day and they said something. And they're like, how are you doing? I'm like, not great. And they're like, why? I'm like, what the fuck? Why the fuck do you think I'm not great? Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna say, no, I'm fine. In that moment, at that time, I was not fucking great. And to ask me why the hell I'm not great, I was just like, what do you think? Right? Like, I think it's one of those things of like just being very clear about, sometimes I don't want to talk. Sometimes I just want to feel. I've been saying to people, sometimes I want to feel. And I think we have to set boundaries, because the reality is I don't think people necessarily have the same level of respect for the grief that you feel when you have broken up with someone than if a member of your family has died, right? And I'm learning that this is grieving. But I'm also accepting that I have to go through the stages of it. I'm accepting that I'm having to rebuild aspects of my reality, right? Because my reality isn't what it was before, and I'm now gonna have to rebuild that. And I don't have a negative outlook. And I think that's what I want. I want to make sure that I impart to people. Like, I do believe that you have power in your mind. I do absolutely 100% believe. I've seen it in my own life that our mind is a powerful thing. And if in my mind, I'm saying to myself, oh, it doesn't get better than what I had with Rob, and I'm never going to find that type of love and whatever. I do believe that my body feels that and hears that. And I think the universe ends up not giving me better than Rob and not making me fall in love in that way again. And so I know that that's not possible. So that's even a boundary for myself, is just being like, I'm mindful of the words that I say. I'm mindful of the fact that I've said to people, I know that I will love again. I'm not ready at this moment, but if it comes, I am open to it. But I'm also not going to put myself in a position because I don't want somebody else living in Robert's very large shadow in my life. It's been 18 days, right? So clearly it's not happening, but I'm also mindful where I'm not saying I'm never going to find another love like this. I absolutely will. I absolutely will. And I'm going to tell myself that, I'm going to tell my body that, and I'm going to meditate on that. And I'm going to see visions of happiness when I close my eyes and I'm meditating. Like, all of those things are going to happen. And I think we just have to, we do have to be mindful of what we say, what we do, and how we speak after a breakup, because you end up having a self-fulfilling prophecy. And I know that I don't want to have a self-fulfilling prophecy of, being on Kendra G when I'm 50 years old, talking about like I am finally ready for marriage. Or I saw some woman the other day, and just some of the things that she was saying was just ridiculous. As a 50-year-old woman, and I was just like, girl, like, society has done you wrong. But for me, it's just like, boundaries is such an interesting thing, and grieving. And so I wanted to come on quickly, because I honestly did not feel like coming on. I came on, I said I would be quick, because I promised myself that I was going to do this. I promised myself that no matter what I was going through, I was going to do that. And that's what Rob and I used to do, interestingly enough. Like, if you guys only knew, sometimes Rob and I were just not in the best place. We were never we didn't have ever terrible, ridiculous arguments. But, if you've been following and you've watched some of the things that I've experienced, you would definitely know that we did not have always the best situation going on because of things in his life, but we would still show up for the show. Like Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, we were here for the show. And that's what I promised myself. I said, if I'm gonna open up this part of my life to you, I'm gonna show up even when I don't want to. because that's life, right? Showing up when you don't want to and being real. We kept it real in our relationship. I'm going to keep it real in this breakup. I'm going to say that this shit is hard, but I promise myself that I'm going to go through it. I'm going to feel it. I'm going to experience it. Hey, everybody that's joining, I'm going to go through this. I'm going to experience all of it. I really want this to be a lesson of how to overcome loss, because it is a loss, in a way that improves you, right? Like, a breakup is not supposed to break you. A breakup is not supposed to make you no longer have hope. To me, a breakup is a moment to mourn, yes, and then reflect. And I'm doing both simultaneously. Mourning and reflecting. And not reflecting in a way that paints Robert in a negative light at all. But reflecting in a way in terms of, as I move forward in life, what are the lessons that I can learn from this so that I can do better next time? And that's really what we should be doing. And I'm serious, ladies, if you have friends that encourage you to do dumb shit after a breakup, you really need to question that friendship. Like, you really need to question the friendship, because you really should be feeling what you're feeling, allowing yourself to get through it, and be able to reflect to make sure that you can do better next time. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. And so many of us go into these relationships doing exactly what we did in the old relationship with a new man. And when that doesn't work, we think it's the man. Can't be the man, because you're the common denominator in all of your failed relationships. And therefore, if you're the common denominator in all of your failed relationships, how can it always be the person outside of you that's the issue? And so going through this journey, as you are all going to follow me on it, is I'm taking this opportunity to truly reflect. Where did I go wrong? What are the missteps that I took? How could I have had this situation turn out differently for me? What are the things that I need to implement moving forward? What are the boundaries that I need to set? How do I ensure that I don't fall into a trap of attention versus intention, which I spoke about last week, right? Like, there are all of these processes that we need to do, and it starts with honestly setting boundaries. And a lot of us need to get some. Let's just start with getting some. And boundaries apply to every aspect. Like, boundaries apply professionally and they apply personally. And personally, it could be with your family, it could be with your children, it could be with your friends, it could be with your partner. Even boundaries just with yourself. Telling yourself there's certain things that you will and will not do. And one of the things I've had to tell myself recently is I'm not going to let you act as if this situation isn't upsetting. I'm not going to allow you to rush past your grieving process. I'm not going to allow you to put yourself in a situation that you're not going to get the ideal result for yourself. Those are the things that I'm telling myself. I'm not allowing myself to do anything that is detrimental to where I want to be and my prospective future because of the pain I'm feeling in my present. And holding on to what I had with Rob in my past. And so, again, I'm going to be as real and as vulnerable with each of you that tune in with me and follow this as I can, because too many times we lose vulnerability. Too many times we pretend that things that hurt us don't. And it's the unhealthiest way to be, ladies, especially as Black women. We need to stop this. We need to, I don't know when the whole soft life concept came up, but I've been living a soft life since I came out of my mom's coochie. Like, I've lived a soft life. This is not a soft life season. People will be like, it's soft life season. I don't even know I honestly don't know what that means. I've lived a soft life. I've been surrounded by by family and people that love me, and I've embraced my femininity and all that comes with this. So I've been living a very soft life. I haven't always been as demure as I've wanted to be, but I've definitely lived a soft life. But part of going through a soft life is also recognizing when things are hard, and I refuse to ever pretend with myself. And it starts with you, because often I think the reason we pretend with the outside world is because we're pretending with ourselves. Everything is fine. I'm not hurt by this. They didn't hurt me. I hurt them. He didn't leave me. I left him. It's just, he didn't ghost me. I ghosted him. Like we pretend all of these things instead of just keeping it real with ourselves. And I've had to keep it very real with myself, going through these, I guess, almost 3 weeks that I haven't been with Rob, and I've had to be clear about the boundaries that I need to set going forward, and I need to be clear about the exceptions that I made that I knew were not good for me, but I made them anyways, and that's nobody else's fault but my own. And I had to say to myself, moving forward, this is what you will do and this is what you will not do. And in the process of it, I'm grieving, I'm mourning, but I'm also speaking positivity into my life. I think that there are amazing men out there. And despite what the manosphere might say that I'm 43, and that might not be possible for me to do this again, I don't believe that. So I'm not sitting here like, oh my God, this is horrible. What am I gonna do? Because this is the worst thing and I'm never gonna find somebody else. I will, because I'm going to be working on myself, and I'm going to be making sure that I do the steps, and I'm not going to be pretending. I'm going to keep it real with myself, and I'm going to make sure that there are boundaries in place. What are the things that I will make sure that just entering my life that no, I'm good on that. So yeah, I'm gonna be going through this, and I don't know which version of me you're gonna get on any week. I don't know what version of myself I get throughout the day. I have to tell you, I take my life like hour by hour now. And, when I'm working and I have to put on the smile and I have to go through it. And I mean, I guess the great thing about working remote is that someone is not in your face for 8-9 hours looking at you, asking you questions. So I only really have to put on a face when I jump on a conference call a couple of times during the day. But for the most part, whatever I'm feeling, I'm allowed to feel. I'm allowed to have my body go through it which is amazing. I actually could not imagine right now going through what I'm going through and going into an office every day and having people just in my face and having to people for 8-9 hours. That's just, that wouldn't happen. That's just never gonna happen. But being able to be real, I'm gonna encourage us as women to just be real and say when we're hurt. I'm hurting. Rob didn't hurt me. Nothing about our relationship hurt me, but what I'm going through, I'm hurting. And I'd be lying. And I'd be lying to say after the period of time in the life that we had built and the plans that we had, I wasn't hurting. I'm hurting. This shit hurts like hell. I would not wish this on my worst enemy. I would not wish the pain that I'm feeling as I'm rebuilding. I would not wish this on my worst enemy. And so I'm not going to TikTok dance for you and do any of that nonsense and come in here. So I don't know what version of me you're going to get every week. You might get a really happy version because it was a really good day, or I'm having a really good hour. Or you just might get someone who's like, listen, like this is what I'm enduring, because we need to stop prettying up shit that shouldn't be prettied up. Too many of us go on social media and try to tidy up shit in our life that we just need to be like, yo, this is what it is. I'm in a space that's didn't want to be in. This was not my plan. This wasn't it. This wasn't supposed to be the end of the story. I'm writing a book, and when I outlined the book, there was Rob getting married at the end of this, and I was gonna take you guys on this journey, and we're gonna have behind the scenes about the wedding, and I was gonna take you guys wedding dress shopping with me. I had it all plotted in, and the book was gonna go a certain way, and there were certain things we're gonna reveal in the book as things got close, and the book was gonna be dropped before we got married. And you know, we even talked about potentially having a contest to invite some of our viewers to our wedding, and all of that. People who have supported us, like we had plans. This was not supposed to be how this shit ends, and so it hurts, and it's okay. I'm gonna speak to the ladies because again, Rob spoke to men. There's no Rob now, so it's a man's job to speak to a man and women to speak to women. Women, it's okay when you're hurting. It's okay to say that you're hurting. It's okay to go through the pain. It's okay to give yourself permission to do it. It took me a long time to realize that. I was a woman who, I'd be like, yeah, I'm good. Deuces. You can't get me. This is whatever. You know, I would leave before it ever got to the point where I would feel shit. She's a runner. She's a track star. Like, I'd be out. I feel like I'm standing still right now. Very much. And I'm going to keep it as real as possible with all of you. Because I do want my story to help. I am hoping somebody sees this in some way or form and says, oh my God, she's expressing how I'm feeling. But I haven't given myself permission, or the women in my life are telling me, girl, get up, get going. We're going to go out. We're going to get you somebody new and all of that stuff. Because they don't know no better. Some of our friends, they don't know no better. Doesn't excuse them, but they don't know no better. Because that's what they've done. Because that's what they were told to do. And it's okay to sit your ass down and just feel. It's okay to scream in your pillow like I did today. It's okay to realize that this shit is not fair because this is not what you planned for your life. It is okay to do all of that because you're grieving. 7 stages of grief. And so I don't even know what stage I'm on right now, but I'm on some stage, right? So it's okay. Ladies, it's okay to give ourselves permission to not be okay when shit did not go the way that we planned. We do not have to be strong for everybody. We do not have to put on a face. We do not have to be Kiki Palmer, whose relationship, God knows what her relationship status is, but after the whole drama and women were coming online supporting some bullshit, she was dancing around when she could have, her child may not have a full-time father in his life. Like, that's some bullshit to me. Why? Because some people on social media said that your baby daddy did some, yeah, okay, but I'm not, fuck that. Like, this is real life. Like, we need to stop pretending that we're living some social media reality. Like, your real reality does not include fucking tens and thousands of people commenting on your life. Your real life is the pain that you feel because the life that you planned for yourself did not turn out, and you have to rebuild and restart, and that shit is hard because ain't nobody want to do that. When we lose our job, we don't want to find a new job. So when you're not in a relationship, God forbid, the last thing you want to do is put yourself back out on the market. So now I have to put my resume, okay, my wife resume back on the market so that I can be selected. I don't want to do that shit. I don't. I put it out. It was chosen. I was chosen. And now I got to be back and update. And it's not like I've gained experience. I've gained years. I gained extra years. So now I'm putting back my resume on with some extra years on it. Like, this was not my plan. And I'm never going to pretend that that is freaking hunky-dory. I'm going to grieve and I'm going to go through it. And yes, I believe that on the other side of it, there is a fantastic man that is waiting for me because I am a fantastic woman. Because like I said last week, the 2 things I will guarantee a man coming into his life is peace, and no matter what happens, I'm going to leave him better than I found him. I do not go into people's life to bring drama and strife. If you've watched the show from the beginning, you've heard Rob said all of the things that I brought to his life, all of the things he accomplished because I was by his side. The things that he wouldn't have been able to do if I wasn't by his side. So I bring peace, and I damn well leave you better than I found you. So I have no doubt that there is somebody else on the other side of my healing, but I'm not going to pretend and rush to go get that person so you can see, oh my God, I got over Rob. And like, I'm not going to do that, because that's, what do the young kids call it? That's cap. That's lying. And the one thing I said is, if I'm going to have a show called Fuck Your Feelings, I'm going to have to fuck my own feelings, going through a process of my feelings. So I have reached my social limit for the night, because I have a social battery, guys, and it like runs out, and it's been a long day. And so for those who have joined me, thank you. Thank you. This is honestly like the therapy that I'm really going through every week. I'm going to get to the point where I'm hoping to do this twice a week. It just depends on my schedule, because honestly, I am back being an independent woman. So life looks a little bit different over here. And of 24 hours, 16 of mine now are busy with the 65 million things that I have on my plate. But I'm going to give you real. I'm going to give you raw. I'm going to give you me. Because that's all I have. So I thank you, everyone. I will either see you Thursday or next Tuesday. I appreciate the support. And like I said, guys, please feel free to come in my DMs and send me some like funny stories or funny memes or funny videos or something, because trust me, laughter is good. The funnier the better. I'll take inappropriate jokes, the whole thing, because I'm not going to pretend that I'm over here laughing every day and running around. Thank you so much. Right, like, so please, like, reach out, send me words of encouragement, because like I said, I'm going to keep it real with you, so that all of you can keep it real with yourselves. I'm going to give you that permission. The permission that I'm giving myself, I'm giving to all of you women who have ever experienced any type of loss. I don't care if that loss was 10 years ago. Some of us have not dealt with loss because we've been surrounded by people who told us that we're just supposed to push through it. I've been that woman who's pushed through it. Trust me. It lands you on a therapy couch paying $145, $200, $235, depending on what city you're in, $300 an hour, spilling your life to someone trying to help you fix shit that you should have been able to fix years ago. So I'm looking at you. I'm giving you permission to feel what you feel, because I gave myself permission to feel what we feel. And more of us as Black women need to give each other permission to show ourselves some grace. Because we're human like every other woman. Our bodies go through the same thing. We're going through the same thing. We are actually not that much tougher than we convince ourselves that we are, but we ain't. Our bodies are built the same way. And so I'm giving myself permission, and I want to give other Black women permission to just fucking feel. Feel it. Own the feeling. Recognize what it is. Seriously. That is the best thing. I know that I have to go through this, because going through this means that I get out better on the other side. And there were times I didn't give myself permission. I've been the person who's like broken her toe and put on a gym shoe and went for like a 5-mile run after. Like, who does this? Because I'm like, mind over matter. I gotta be tough. I gotta be this. I'm not feeling this. Doesn't hurt. This shit hurts. But like, I remember when I seriously went to the gym with like a broken toe. I'm like, what am I supposed to do about this? I still gotta go to the gym. Like, that's me. And that shit's bullshit. Feel. Own it. Feel it. It hurts. My heart hurts. You know what? There are days like people are talking to me and I like my heart, like I have this moment where I like literally do this because I feel like I'm protecting my heart, because my heart is just like tightening in my chest. And I'm just like having to breathe through it. And I'm not going to pretend that that's not happening. I don't know. I'm not causing it to happen. It's my body. So who am I to tell my body what it's doing naturally is wrong? Why do we do that? Why do we tell our bodies, well, we can't feel like this? No, this is because this is like cleansing, right? When you do a cleanse, your body's cleansing itself. The steps that you take when you, through grieving and mourning, that's actually to get you to heal. But so when you ignore it, you're not healing. And many of us are unhealed. And then we're bringing our unhealed self into other people's life. Or the people already in our life, we're bringing grief into their life because we refuse to heal. Because somewhere, somehow, we got a message that as Black women, we're supposed to be strong and not vulnerable. Fuck that. That's going to be my message to all of you every week, is fuck that. Because this hurts. And I know some of you are hurting too. So my social battery is now low. I've had enough for the day. I've been going since early this morning. I appreciate you all. I love you all. I'm actually going to go out for a walk now and stretch my legs because I need to be outside. But I will see you either later on this week or next week. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The support and the love I've been appreciating is more than I honestly deserve. And so I thank you, each and every one of you who have reached out to me just to check that I'm okay. So I will see you in a couple of days. Be blessed. Bye, everyone.